Hey guys, welcome to the last and final part of my journey to greatness with Ndou. Please enjoy.
Conquering that fear of coming here was actually the best thing ever, and then it changed my perspective, and I get to see how the other universities work, and it made me realize and appreciate Univen. Because being the person who comes from like the university that is like very very far away from home, and the things that we learned, theoretically I knew almost everything that I am doing now. So it was like a best step for me being at Univen and being at Cape Town in the meantime. It was a best step, and I've actually achieved what I thought I would achieve, seeing things from a different eye, from a different perspective. So once you start thinking, okay, this is what we have at Univen, but then this we have at Univen, you understand, we have this and that, and I got to see the privilege that I had, because as you're studying at Univen, you think you're disadvantaged, but then you don't see the privileges because you don't know what's out there. Of course, there's a lot of setback, there's a lot of things that are not really good and or affordable from Univen perspective, but there's a lot of things you get exposed to, a lot of information, you get exposed to a lot of things even at Univen. So I think coming to Cape Town was actually what I actually thought I would achieve, learning new things, getting some perspective, like the two-way perspective, like the Univen one and then the
Yeah,
the one.
yeah, I get,
So-
I get you. I feel like for me, coming from UL to UCT, I could do like a whole series just talking
about it,
the
yes.
differences.
Yes, yeah.
Like it's such a huge
Differences
jump.
and similarities.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Differences and similarities, and appreciating being going to UL first. Like I think for me, I think it was a good idea how everything went.
For me, a lot of people who know me, I think they
Yeah.
take coming to Cape Town as a big deal.
Yeah.
And I take being at Univen as a big deal. And that's where I have the rules. That's where I got the confidence. That's where I got to like my whole experience. The one that I'm using now is just acquiring other stuff. And I learned a big deal at Univen, more than I learned it here. Be it the number of years that I spent at Univen now, but it was like really good.
I think the one thing, sorry to cut you, the one thing that I appreciate more, and for people from Limpopo like us, is that going to a university back home is very comfortable, and that at its own is peace of mind.
Yep. One thing that you can highlight is once you're done with your degree, if you have an opportunity to go outside, you can go.
Yeah.
And even staying is not a problem at all. It's not a problem.
But then I wouldn't recommend staying.
Yeah.
I would like. I think it's best to start there and leave and
leave.
come back.
Really?
Come back, yeah. Come back, and all those things that you've learned, wherever that you learned, come back, implement them
At home.
At home.
Yes.
Yeah.
We work for home.
Yeah,
We work for home.
yeah. But don't just stay there.
Don't just stay there.
No.
Yeah. And the sooner the better. That's what I can
Right?
say. The sooner the better.
The sooner the better.
And the
That's
word
true.
I say is not that scary, guys. Like, yo, there's no, because I'm not comfortable at Cape Town. You know, you hear stories about people. People will tell you stories like, oh, it's not safe, not what. We are completely safe here, and we are. It's just like in other places. Then you have like you take precautions. Like everybody has a butler, even in my home, deep in the villages.
That's true.
I mean, in a place where there's still something today, you find it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
there's still a butler.
Okay, I want to talk about your parents and you making the decisions to come to Cape Town. Like, how did they feel about that? I mean, like, you're a man, you should be saving money for lobola, you should be building a house or whatever that,
House.
all those expectations
All
that
those expectations.
people have of their kids.
It's not something that is very easy to actually accept, because I happen to come from a very, 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 very big family, and a lot of people are taking like very good chances. We have people who are like, I have My sisters actually they went also and further their studies. Of course, I did it first, but they also went there and do it. My sister is at UJ. She actually did her master's as well there, and the other one went to
Okay.
yeah, that university was it?
Yeah,
Val University of Technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's also going further with the BTech as well.
Yeah.
So it was not throughout the years. Like when I passed my matric, people were not really educated. Like, what can you do? And even after passing, the decision that I tell them, okay, now I want to do honors. I think it actually prepared them that this person can actually go to masters, can also do PhD. And when I went to masters, they were like, okay, he's gone. He's gonna be mad with books this one. I'm not mad. He's gonna be mad with books. And he's just gonna study. But then when I tell them the decision that okay, now I'm finished with I completed my masters now, and then I actually told them, I'm like, if you see me at the gate of school again, kill me.
Sure.
I had vowed that I would never go back to PhD. It's only when I started realizing, and I'm like, okay, this is the opportunity. I got an opportunity to go out there, change environment, and learn new things, and maybe still a better chances in the world. I'm like, maybe I could do this. you know, there's things that you apply and you don't really, you're very skeptical about it, but in the meantime you really like it. You want to grow as a person who is educated. You want to grow, and then I had to go back at them and say, I'm at the gate of the school now. They didn't kill me. I think I had like a lot of mixed reactions. Some people were just like, man, this thing of yours, the school things of yours, it has to end. And I really understand that. But then I had to make them understand what is PhD, how do you live as a PhD student, and what is it that is required from you. And I explained it in a very good way, and then they understood it. Even now, I think they feel more comfortable. And when you count the years, you don't really feel it. I'm doing my third year now, also. Sure. I'm not going to talk about when I'm going to finish, but I'm pretty positive that it's going to be very, very soon.
Sure. Wow.
That is not the aim. You don't want to finish your PhD like in record time, although we aim for that, but it's not always that easy. It's PhD.
It's PhD. I was actually reading the other day, I think less than 2% of the people have a PhD.
They finished in record time.
Okay, no, it wasn't about record time, but it was just saying that less than 2% of the people in the world have a PhD. I'm just like, 98% of people don't have a PhD. I can't remember if it's 2% or 1%. I stand to be corrected.
But we really don't need that.
Yeah.
We need that thinking, because it comes with it uplifts your country, it uplifts your continent, because you get to like do research with a lot of people from outside. I happen to be very, very close to the supervisors, so I know how they collaborate. I think the University of Western Cape, it has a lot of collaborations from Europe, America, Canada, and I think in Russia as well. So almost all the big countries, they have like, they send students there to be trained and everything. And University of Venda as well, they have like a Virginia connection as well. So those things are with the supervisors. So if you have a PhD and you're working as a supervisor, then you get to attract those people, and then you work. It doesn't only uplift your university, it uplifts you, it uplifts also the community. We really need. That's another way of developing even the black people.
So you're recruiting us to do PhDs now?
No. No.
Okay.
You can make that decision on your own.
Okay.
But then you can actually, if you have a better chance, because it's even when you're working, you can actually do a PhD. It doesn't matter for how long it's gonna take, but you really do need that, you know.
Okay. So like, what's your plan for the future?
Plan for the future. If you listen to my story, I never really planned anything. I think I'm guided.
Wow.
by God.
Listen to that.
I think I'm guided by God. So I let him take control. Because I said a lot of things and like, I'm not going to do this. And then God says, do it. And I do it. So, what do I see in the future? I think I see me finishing, completing my PhD.
That's the same thing my level said when I asked them. So I think it's a PhD thing. It's a PhD student thing. All you want is to finish your PhD, then God will direct the rest.
Then God will direct you to the right path. What do you do as a PhD when you're finished? You do a lot of things. You do a lot of things. You can take the research route. You can be in academia. You can go and work a regular job. And it's a lot of good opportunities there that you can do with a PhD. There's not that thing of overqualification, guys, and we don't go mad. We just get educated.
Yeah. But then I think so. I feel like now I have a lot of PhD friends, and I can see you guys are almost normal. Just almost normal. Almost normal.
Okay.
So
I think
at least it's a chance that one can take. So I want to ask, this is like rather personal though. Do you think having a PhD affects like relationship wise kind of vibe?
Relationship wise, it does.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
In a good way. In a bad way. First of all, you have to like sometimes for a person like me who's like in a long distance relationship, you don't connect with the partner very well. You don't really, all you rely on is the phone and other stuff, but then you can work through that. And I think it actually teaches you how to be matured as well. You get to learn to appreciate things. You get to think like in the future, and providing that you don't even have time, like you just want to have that person and you want it to be really, really, really good. You don't have time to be what do you call mingling around. You want to have this thing. You organize your life. You want to have that. Like, this is the thing about PhD. The only person who knows your work is you, and the second person is your supervisor, because your supervisor sees what you write, sees what you discover, and you have seen a lot of things. You know what's out there, what's not out there, and you want to find out something. You want to add to something that is shorting. You want to fill the gap. So you have like a lot of information to read, and then the second person who knows is the supervisor. And these are the things that you spend your time, almost all your time, in. So which means the second person that you can connect to is your partner. And you get to really appreciate that person who is that patient to be with you all the way through.
Exactly.
So that is really, I think it affected in a good way.
You think it strengthens your relationship?
It does. It does. Because you learn to appreciate people. Like, you don't just connect with anyone. Like you spend a lot of your time alone, but then if you have someone who is there and willing to listen to you when you cry, they see you in your worst, they see you at your best. So that's really, really
I think that is really amazing. I like that you put it that way. So, we continue the interview. I've had your journey. I think your journey is very beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I think it's very beautiful.
Thank you.
But I want to find out, like, what do you think? What is it about you that has made you the person that you are today? How I usually ask this question is, what makes you so great?
What makes you so great? What makes me so great? A lot of things. A lot of things. I think it's the self-belief. It's the self-belief and the ability to work around your identity. Yeah, I know my identity, and I don't know. I don't know if you understand this thing of like knowing your identity.
Can you just explain it? Can you explain it to us? Like, what do you mean you know your identity?
We both come from Limpopo, and then you know yourself. You got the family backgrounds and other stuff. those things can actually limit you. Be like, a person who comes from Limpopo can never be that great. A person who comes from the position that I come from can never be that great.
Went to a public school.
You upgraded. What do you think you're gonna do with the PhD?
Exactly. Yeah,
I understand. So my greatness is about knowing what I am. It's about knowing my strengths and my weaknesses, and actually playing around it. It doesn't limit me. It actually fuels me. I'm like I always want to be like one step ahead. Like that's me.
You always have a desire.
I desire to do more and just to like forget about the identity a little minute and focus on what I can achieve. Yeah, that's me.
Sure.
That's my greatness.
I think that is really beautiful. So tell us, like, how does doing a PhD, like, how is it like? Do you think anybody can do a PhD, or do you think you need to have a certain type of
brain
to do a PhD?
No. Remember, doing a PhD, a lot of people are doing PhDs. People are doing PhD in a lot of things. They're not registered, but they're doing a PhD. If you are a builder, you do a PhD. You learn how to build some other stuff. You learn how to do the bridges and other stuff. Those things, it's all about like enhancing your education. A person will start by building a one room and then be like, okay, now I know how to build a one room. I'm gonna go for 2. Now I'm gonna go for like 10. Okay, let me just put a garage. And then okay, I've done a lot of like ground houses. I wanna go to a 2-story room, and then okay, I can actually try a flat. That's how you do a PhD. So you just have to be there. You have to like gather experiences, and you have to dedicate yourself. So a lot of people are doing PhD. They're not registered, but they're doing a PhD. So you don't really need to be some kind of a special person. You just have to be there and love what you do. And maybe the challenges that you're gonna have maybe is to, where do I go? Where do I do my PhD? What do I focus on? What do I do this? But then a lot of people are doing PhDs.
Sure.
People are doing music and they're earning the doctorate decision, the degrees that are being awarded. If you look at the great musicians, they also did a PhD. That is PhD. Nina Simone was awarded a PhD. Mariam Makiba, she has a PhD. She did the music. She sang about how she felt. She sang about the world. She did that. She mastered those things and actually she discovered things. She touched places that you don't touch. So a lot of people are actually doing PhDs. They are not registered, but they're doing PhDs. So
I guess that's where the honorary doctorate comes in.
Like you get the pastor that knows how to deal with any situations. If you go back to the villages where I come from, you have people who settle family differences. You have people who can deal with any kind of death, of like funeral. We have people who are like who are not afraid of tackling every situation. Those people are doing their PhDs. They have learned and mastered the art of doing whatever they're doing. So you don't need some kind of special brain. You don't need superpowers and everything. That's why anybody can do a PhD.
Okay, because I feel like it gets scary a bit when you talk about masters, you're like, okay, maybe. And then like PhD, now I'm gonna go. Man.
It's the take home that actually scares people, and a lot of people who did the PhD that they don't really like to be called doctors because it comes with that heavy title. It comes with that respect that people be like, oh man, this person is educated. And what you're forgetting is this person knows only the work that they did. The doctor in philosophy, they philosophied this particular area. There's a lot of ground to cover. There's a lot of people who are doing like these different other things, and it's actually comes back to being a normal person. You just mastered this, but then you have the take-off because you were registered as a student and you went through the protocols and other stuff. So you are employable to be doing this and that.
Sure. Okay, Ndou. I think that brings us to the end of this conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Is there anything that you would like to tell? Any advice that you have for the people that are watching?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go get it. That is the advice.
Advice.
Go get it.
Yeah, guys, go get it. Whatever it is that is in your heart, whatever that you want, whatever that you desire. Do not be afraid of being thrown in the deep. Do not be afraid of trying new things. Do not be afraid of going to new environments. Gosh, apply overseas, guys. Like, yes, in the world is here, right in our hands, and you can go anywhere that you want. You can do whatever that you want, as long as it's in your heart. You dedicate your time to it, you can achieve it. And remember, you do not fail. You only fail when you quit. Yeah. So
you know it.
you have nothing to lose, honestly, especially as a young person. Get as much education, get as much experience, get as much exposure as you can.
Talk to the right people. Talk to the right people.
Talk to the right, especially, I think that is very important.
And take advices from people who have been there. Take advices from those people.
Yeah.
You cannot just find anyone who is like not really doing anything with their life, and then they try to advise you and be like this. No.
Yeah.
You listen to the right people who have been there, who knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's
do not be afraid to talk to people. I think for me, talking to people has changed my life so much, because now you're
connecting.
Exactly. And
that's when you get like good opportunities. You keep your friends, you talk to them, you connect. Connection is very, very important.
Yeah.
Not corruption, connection.
This one is a South African. Yes, like connection is very important. Talking to people is very important, and that is why I created my journey to greatness, so that I can also personally find out what other people are doing. Because low-key, I am scared of a PhD, but now that I have people who are doing PhDs that are my friends that I'm talking to, I feel much confident, and I know that if I register my PhD and I get stuck somewhere, I know that I have a bunch of people that I can actually talk to and ask them for help, for advices and things like that. So this is another platform, and luckily most of my guests are on social media, so you can also connect with them as well if you need help with anything, if you need advices. And also, guys, if there's any other topics that you'd like me to cover on my journey to greatness, careers, or anything that you want me to talk about, you can comment down in the description box, or you can hit me up on Instagram. My details are on the description box, and also I'll put Ndou's Instagram and Facebook handle on the description box if you guys have any questions for him specifically, because there's a lot we didn't talk about. We can't talk about everything, but I think just what we've talked about here today is it's a background that you can actually build in. And and also, guys, I really appreciate you guys so much for watching this video, for taking your time. I know my videos are long, but I really appreciate you taking the time and watching. And also, please share with your friends that you think that they can actually benefit from the conversations that we have on my journey to greatness. Ndou, thank you so much for
try and fail. Don't fail to try.
Wow. Sure. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.